live thing. We're live with Vincent Pastore and me, Vicki Abelson on Game Changers. I am so excited. All right, can I call you Vinny? What do I call you? Vinny, Vincent, what do you like?
Don't call me Vince. You know who was called Vince? Elvis Presley and King Creole.
Oh, I love King Creole. Oh,
and I hated Vince. And when I was in the Navy, because you showed me that hat you're going to give me. Let me see.
Yeah. Here, look at this.
When I was in the Navy, my chief, because I worked on the admiralship, this chief used to call me Vince. I hated it.
No, I wasn't going to call you Vince. But you signed your
Vinny.
Vinny. So when I was 15, I had Vinny #1 and Vinny #2. And I bet you even know my first Vinny because you know Johnny Gale, right? Johnny Gale did the music for A Bronx Tale with Chaz. Johnny Gale's the guitar player, and he does all the doo-wop stuff. You know okay. Johnny. Well, yeah. Johnny was in a band with Vinny Graffio, my Vinny #1. Anyway.
And who's Vinny #2?
Vinny #2. That's a fake. That's a span. He was from Mexico. Vincent Gonzalez III.
Oh, all right.
But he was a guitar player.
Yeah.
All right. So we have to talk about this. Is so crazy because the things, you know, Michael Imperioli's birthday is in 2 days on March 26th, same day as my dad's. And we made a movie together years ago, and he's been a great friend. And I know that you and Michael and Schirripa do the conversations with the
Soprano thing. Yeah. Yeah. We went to Australia.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah, and so 7 cities.
You did it in COVID? You did this?
No, pre-COVID. And then we were supposed to go to Europe, 15 cities, and COVID. We lost it. But we may go to London. Our next gig, we're doing something in the city in June. And then we're doing, we just booked Red Bank again. What is it, St. George's? No, that's St. Charles, the Red Bank. Oh, Count Basie.
Wow.
And we're doing Count Basie in September. So we go back to the same venues now. They love us. It's a show.
So tell us about what the show is, so people who are going to go know what
it's called Conversations in Comedy with the Sopranos, because when Stephen put it together with Michael, it was before they had the podcast and before everything blew up with the book. And, you know, like I said, we went to Australia with it. And now we locked in Joey Cola, who does the opening for Drew Barrymore.
Okay, I don't want to tell you that I've known Joey Cola for 35 years.
Isn't this a small world?
I'm telling you. I used to be a comedian.
You know everybody I know.
Yes.
So Joey opens us up, and he comes out. He does comedy.
Right.
And then they show clips from Schirripa, clips from Michael, and they end up with clips from me when I get whacked. And they bring me out first, and they bring out Schirripa, and then Michael's the centerpiece.
Right.
And it's a show. It's a scripted show that they ask us questions. I mean, we it's like a rat pack, and we go off. You know, we get vulgar. Sometimes Steven, because he's drinking on stage, somebody heckles. He tells the guy to shut the F up. You know, sometimes people ask, and then we have a Q&A, and sometimes people ask us great questions.
All right, so tell me a great question that somebody has asked. Is like everybody always.
How do I prepare for a role?
Okay, answer.
I said it's on the page.
What do you mean? Tell me what you mean.
It's on the page. I mean, it's there. It's written. You know, it's the way it's yours. Otherwise, you would have never got the part. So you pick it up off the page, and it becomes you.
Okay, so I have to ask you this. I'm a woman of a certain age. How the hell do you remember lines at this point? I mean, I can't even remember what I left in the other room. How do you do it?
I know. Look. So what are the lawyers saying about Chris's case? That's my first line to Chaz. And then Chaz says, I'm meeting with them later. And then Joey Muggs, Tony Darrow, he comes in, and I'm smarter than Tony. And I was talking to Tony today. So we're gonna have fun with this. This is Gravesend, Willie DeMayo's show, and he wrote me, Chaz, and Tony in, and it's really cool because I've been working with Tony since Goodfellas.
Unbelievable, and Michael too. Michael.
I knew Michael. Michael used to come to my bar.
Oh my God.
We
All right, so
talked
we have
about
to
that on stage. How he
we
used to
have to.
come to my bar.
All right,
You
we
know,
have to talk
because in
about you
the
being. Yeah,
in the Sopranos, he bought the
yeah,
bar for Drea. It's
and
called the
they call.
Lollipop. That's where I used to DJ. And then he made it the Crazy Horse, and that was the bar I owned, and he used to come in. So Schirripa says to him and says, "Well, how old were you when you were going to Vinny's bar?" And Michael said, "Vinny didn't care." And I said, "Listen, that's where you learn how to play music." He said, "Vinny didn't
I,
care." I didn't
I
care.
didn't. I didn't
I
even
had
know that.
Kevin Dillon in there, Matt Dillon, Paul Dillon. I had Michael O'Keefe used to come in. He was going
He's
out
a
with,
friend of mine too. He
well,
was with Bonnie
he's,
Raitt.
yes, he's from the Marinette. See,
Unbelievable.
I was New Rochelle.
All right, but wait, you're a Bronx boy to begin with, right?
No, New
Bronx?
Rochelle, New York.
No, I thought you were born in the Bronx. They
No,
lie.
I was born in Portchester. I don't know who put that. I was born in France. My
Wikipedia
grandmother
lies.
came out of Arthur Avenue, but I was born in Portchester. On
Okay,
my
this is the
mother's
most
side.
important question of the day. Where's your favorite pizza in New York? What?
In New York?
Yeah.
I don't want to go to New York.
No.
I don't
Your
want to go to
favorite?
New York.
Where's your favorite pizzas in New
Arthur
Rochelle?
Avenue. I'm not going to go to New York.
Okay, Arthur Avenue, Dominic's. That was my thing.
Well, any place on Arthur Avenue is good. That's family.
Yeah.
That's family.
I heard New Rochelle has good pizza. Is that true?
Patsy's and Mon Pizzeria. Yes.
All right, that's very
Rochelle's making a
important.
comeback. It is. Yeah. All my doctors are in New Rochelle. I just had my colonoscopy in New Rochelle.
All right, so oh my God. All right, this is too crazy. All right, so let's go back. So you're a kid.
Did you know T-Bone with Daryl?
What, T-Bone Burnett?
No, T-Bone
different.
Wall.
No.
Yeah, with Daryl. Yeah. See, when I had my club,
yeah,
T-Bone was playing with Billy Vera, and he was playing with Guy and Pip Gillette. And then what happened is that Tommy Mottola came into my club and he met T-Bone and put him in with Hall & Oates. And Bobby Mayo used to play in my club.
I know Bobby Mayo.
God bless his soul.
He passed, yeah. He used
and
to
Bobby
play my
Mayo
club.
also played with Peter Frampton. And these are the guys that I hanging out in my Crazy Horse Club in 1980 from 80, 85. And now I run around with what? I run around my band and it's musicians from back then.
Gangster Squad. We got to talk about it because all those people that used to play for you used to play for me on Bleecker Street. I'm sure it was a lot of the same people.
Well, that's where I met Lester at Kenny's. He was working the door. He was working the door. And I just come in. I went down on Monday nights to see the Jam. Remember the Jam?
Right.
Yeah. And I saw Lester. He says, "Ain't you Lester from the Chambers Brothers?" He says, "Yeah, I'm watching the door for somebody." But he was working the door. And I said, "Well," he said, I'm gonna sing." And then I said, "Why don't you come up and sing in my club? I got Harvey Brooks up there." He said, "You got Harvey Brooks?" I said, "Yeah, Harvey plays on Thursday nights, but he don't have anybody singing." So I brought Lester up there. We put a band together. It's called the Lester Chambers Harvey Brooks Band, and we went on tour.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you become a rock impersonator? All right, you're a kid. You're in school, you're a kid. What do you want to be when you grow up? Do you want to be...
Well, my cousin was Dion and the Belmonts, Carlo Mastrangelo. And we knew the Mellow Kings, and we knew all that. I grew up... listen, my best friend in life lives across the lane from me up here in City Island. We've been singing since we were 12 years old.
Wow. So did you have a band when you were like a kid?
We had a cappella.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I went in the Navy. I even did a cappella in the Navy. This is funny. You're making me think about all this stuff.
Oh, come on. This is great.
When I was in the Navy, we were doing a cappella.
Thank you, veteran. Yeah. Yes. So you were doing a cappella. So what did you want to, was your aspiration to be a singer in a band?
My aspiration was to be an actor.
But you didn't do that for a while, right?
Yeah. As soon as I got out of the service, I went to Pace College on the GI Bill, and I studied acting.
So how did you make a turn? Did you
I couldn't get a job to save my soul. So I just stayed in the bar business. And I stayed in the bar business for 25 years. And then finally I said, I want to be an actor.
Wait, how did you open your own club? How did you get the money to open your own club?
From my divorce. Wait, you're writing my life story now.
I am. I'm a writer.
We got divorced. Me and my ex-wife got divorced. I had We sold a house, and we gave money to my daughter, and we gave them, and we're all together still now. We love each other. It's a family. We grew up, and I had money, and I was working for Louis at Peachtree's in New Rochelle, and Louis helped me. He says, "Why don't you manage Peachtree so you'll know how to run your own joint?" So he said, "You won't make as money as you will be a bartender." So what happened is that I bought the Crazy Horse for $500.
What?
Because it was condemned. It was a condemned place.
Wow.
And I called up my partners, and we had 30,000 in the kitty. And I said, "I just bought a bar for $500. They said, "What?" And I opened up the door, and they were throwing up and everything. And we gutted it out, and we got it open for $35,000.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, we
And
went up.
Did you get money right away?
Well, I was doing country music for a while, and that didn't work. I started making money when I did rock and roll.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I was doing Buddy Miller Band with Sean Colvin. Sean wasn't even a starter. Lincoln was playing. The country music wasn't going over that well. It was a fad.
When I started at the Rock and Roll Cafe, he was booking rock. He was booking rock. He was country rock. And I came in and brought in straight rock and roll, and the rock and roll is what brought the people.
Yeah, because they drink more. It's like on Sunday nights, I used to have jazz, right? And they sit around with Perrier,
That's no fun.
When you do Southern rock, then they're drinking the bourbon.
Oh yeah, Southern.
Yeah, they're crazy, They're drinking tequila. So that it depends when you're running a club. It depends. The best nights we had was the Tuesday night jam, because I would hire 3 guys, and usually Michael Ciro, Benny Harrison, those guys.
Oh my God, Benny played for me for years.
You did?
Yeah, I did a jam at the China Club and at Spodiotis and stuff. Yeah.
The one uptown.
Yeah.
That's when I used to hang out there with Benny too.
Of course. We definitely bumped into each other.
We ever got high together.
In the bathroom. Oh my God. So, all right. So did you introduce the acts? Were you on the stage at your?
No, I had a DJ booth in back of the stage.
So
I had my own DJ booth. So I would play records, and then I would introduce the band. So you hit record. There was no jukebox in my place. It was a DJ, and then rock and roll, and then music live back and forth.
I just thought of who
everybody used to be my guest DJ too.
I bet you know Richard Viteri. Do you know Richard Viteri?
Let's say no Richard. I did his play Kids Menu. We made a movie out of it. How do you know Richard?
I went out with Richard in 1988. I'm telling you, it's a small world. Okay.
You were an actor?
I was an actor, then a comedian, then a rock and roll promoter. And I did that all through the 80s and the early 90s.
Tell me some of the bands that you promoted.
So I used to book Tommy Burns, who went on to go with Billy Joel. He's been his guy forever. I booked oh my God, I booked Benny. I booked Mason Reese. I booked everybody. I booked Steve
Mason
Conti.
used to come up to my club once in a while.
All those guys. They're
But was he any good?
He was a drummer, but he kept breaking his legs because he was fragile, so he would have a lot of trouble. But Benny was in his band, Benny and the Spiders, and Mason was the drummer. Yeah. Phoebe Snow used to sing at my club, and those were the days.
My drummer, Charlie Powers, who was just here today working on my railing because he also works in my house, played drums for Phoebe.
Oh, I loved Phoebe.
You know Tommy McDonald? He sings with the Blues Brothers. So do you know the Baron?
I don't know
the sax player. You don't know the Baron? Oh, those are my guys. Al Orlo, those are my guys.
So tell me about Gangster Squad. Tell me
it started off when I was doing Bullets Over Broadway, me and Nicky Guerrero.
Which I saw you in, by the way, and you were phenomenal. Go ahead.
Thank you.
You were.
I was scared
shitless. I was front row. You were phenomenal.
You were front row?
I was front row.
and you saw me come out of the ground at the top of the show.
Yes. Was Woody there? Like, did Woody ever give you?
He used to sit up in the last row, come in,
Yeah.
and sneak out.
And did he give you notes? Did he ever tell you anything?
He would give the notes to Susan on a yellow pad,
Yeah. Yeah.
and Susan would sit in front of him, and Woody was sitting back about 3 aisles back with his girlfriend, wife,
Yeah.
and
Soon-Yi. It was Soon-Yi?
yeah, she would sit with him every day, and that's when he was going through a lot of shit. And Susan would be given the notes, and she said, "These are Woody's notes." And you want to say, "He's sitting there. Why can't he give me the notes himself?"
So I went for a cattle call in front of Woody in like 1978, and then I waited on him at Maxwell's Plum, and he flirted with me, but he didn't give me a part.
For what movie?
God, it was like 1970. I don't even remember. It was just a cattle call.
Back then?
Oh, yeah.
I did a lot of extra work for Woody.
I want to talk to you about that, because I heard you say that you did a lot of extra work and that you would use initiative and you would talk.
Yeah, I called myself the Upgrade King.
So I was in the first Buddy Young Jr. sketch with Billy Crystal on Saturday Night Live, and he upgraded me because I said, "You look marvelous." But it ended up on the cutting room floor. Every time I got upgraded, it ended up on the cutting room floor. So tell me, were you able to get your SAG card by talking as an extra?
No, I had my SAG card. I got it from Joy Todd. Put me She put me in an ABC Sunday night special with Lou Gossett called Gideon Oliver. That's where I met Tony Lip. And I had one line. I said, "He's here." And that's how I got my stick. He's here.
That's
This business, union. Okay, I'm in the union now. And then I would go on a date. I was watching a movie the other night starring James Gandolfini and Andy Garcia, 6 Ways to Sunday. Yeah. And I'm in it, and I had a nice little bit. And I said, you were working with Jimmy back then. Well, whoever knew it would come together? I was a day player.
Wow.
Whoever knew it would come full circle that we would become Pussy and Tony Soprano.
I have to tell you, I saw everything in real time. I never missed a Sopranos. There was no way. And I watched it was 20 years ago, and I completely forgot that you get whacked. And to me, because to me, when I think of the Sopranos, I think of you, I think of Schirripa, I think of Michael, I think of James, I think of all of you, and I never thought of you as going away. And because you're such a major part of that show.
Well, we were the original. We were in the pilot. We did the pilot. The pilot became episode #1. We shot the pilot. It was hot. It was in August. I remember me and Michael talk about it all the time. And it wasn't even in Kearney. It was in Elizabeth, New Jersey. And then they moved the location to Kearney, and then built a lot of in the sets in the studio in Silver Cup. In fact, season 2, Jimmy came up to me and said, they built your house in the studio. I mean, they're going to give you a lot of work. In other words, instead of me going out to Jersey City all the time to shoot the scenes, and we had to rent this house, they says, "Okay, Big Pussy's got a big season coming up." So I would go to Silver Cup, and I had my house there. So the scene where I'm in the bed, when I go down the steps, or when I'm trying the bathroom, trying to shave, that was all down in the studio. And even the boat was down in the studio.
Wow.
We talk about this on stage with me and Schirripa. They laugh.
Are you guys? I want you guys to come to LA so I can come see it.
We want to come to LA.
Yeah, you got to come to LA. Michael's
love this show.
Michael's performed in my living room.
What?
He's performed in my living room twice.
With his band?
No, reading. And I had a literary salon, and he performed here. But I have music. The Howard Kalin and Mickey Dolenz performed in my living room. You gotta come when the pandemic's over. All right.
No,
wait.
I don't want to hear pandemic.
No, I know you think I'm still COVID crazy, but
I wear my mask when I go out, but I'm moving forward. I'm doing plays downtown. I'm back to work. I got a great movie coming out. You're gonna love this.
Tell me.
It's
With Armand Assanti.
no, I did that
No.
with Don Q. But I want to talk to you about this movie I did called Spinning Gold. And it's the story of Neil Bogart and Casablanca Records. Who ever thought that I would be in that movie because I used to spin Casablanca Records?
That's crazy.
I used to spin them.
Is Jeremy Jordan playing the lead in that movie?
Yeah, he's great.
My daughter loves him. Yeah.
He's a sweetheart. He's great.
When is that coming out?
Timmy Bogart had me do some ADR work up the street here. We got our own studio here on City Island, and he said, "Vinny, I think I'm going to try to get this." He don't want to cut. He don't want to edit it. He's got 4 hours.
Oh my gosh!
See, he shot a lot of stuff in Canada pre-pandemic, and then he went to Jersey in Kearney and did a studio, and he did all this stuff with the blue screen, where you think I'm in LA, because in LA when I beat up Neil.
Right.
I said, I don't want to come back to this town. I hate LA.
Oh my gosh.
Timmy gave me that line.
Who's your character? What's your character in this?
I run the casino and he keeps borrowing money from me. And I think he's going to invest it into his shows and he gambles it and he keeps owing me and owing me and owing me.
I'm
a wise guy because the casinos were owned by the mob back then.
All right, I want to talk to you about that. Were you ever a wise guy?
No, my father ran numbers, but that's nothing. I mean, paper bag stuff.
Was it ever a temptation?
No. Can I tell you something? I mean, I'm loving this conversation. I always wanted to be an actor.
Okay, so let's talk about how you.
I had obstacles. You couldn't become an actor coming from a rough ghetto neighborhood in New Rochelle, Italian. I mean, the Jewish girls, their mothers wouldn't even let me go out with them.
I was one of those Jewish girls, but all my boyfriends were named Vinny.
I couldn't go out with you. My girlfriend was Nyberg, and I couldn't go out with her. I used to send my friend Tommy Finn over to pick her up.
Are you serious?
I swear to God. And I'm playing with my band up at Daryl's house. My last birthday, we go up there every year. So I'm playing at Daryl's house last year for my 75th. And wow. Karen's in the audience with his sister. So I sang to her, We're a Win. And I sang to her. And then at the end of the show, she came backstage and she sat down and I kissed her. She kissed me. I don't care if she's a grandmother. I don't care. As long as her husband don't find out. Oh, if her husband hears the show. I'm not talking to her.
I just saw the episode. All right, I started binging The Sopranos again because I haven't seen it in all those years. My daughter and her.
You gotta cut that part. I talked about Karen.
We're live, honey. We have no net. You're fucked. So I just watched the one last night where Tony starts to fool around with Adriana and they have a car accident. Talk about bad thing. Talk about fooling around with the wrong person. Anyway, all right. So. Tell me how you became.
I don't think Adriana died. I don't think she's dead. I don't think Sylvia shot her. I talk to Stephen about that all the time. I said, you didn't kill her.
Do you think Tony's dead?
Tony? No.
No. You don't think he got whacked at the end of the last episode?
Nobody would ever do that. Come in and shoot you in front of everybody while you eating cheeseburgers. You break. It was David's way of ending it in case he ever wanted to bring it back. He admits it.
Really?
He said he was going to bring my ass back.
I was waiting for that.
He said to me over.
He did bring you back a little bit. You were going.
Yeah, no, but he said to me over dinner because we were having dinner one night, and it was me, Tony Sirico, Jimmy, little Steven, Max Weinberg.
Oh my God!
And David, and we were there. It was Steven's mother passed away, and we were eating at Maureen's sister's restaurant, and David said, "So are you ready to go back to work?" To Jimmy, and Jimmy said, "I got this thing with Fox." I didn't know what they were talking about, and he looked at David and he said, "You're bringing Vinny back, right?" And David said, "Yeah, we're working it out." And I didn't know what they're talking about, and then Jimmy told me they were going to bring it back. That he dreamt all that shit.
Wow.
And then I went into witness protection. So that's the way this guy was writing. But then we lost Jimmy, you know? And then they went backwards, you know? They went backwards with
Did you know Laura Somoza?
who?
Laura Somoza, she was Jimmy's girlfriend. Did you know her?
She was his acting assistant.
I don't know.
She was his girlfriend.
She was
When
his
was
girlfriend
his girlfriend?
for years, maybe after The Sopranos.
No.
Yeah,
No,
she was his
he
girl.
was what he
There's
was
hundreds of pictures of them together. Hundreds. Yeah, really. I'm going to
well,
send
I don't
you.
want to talk about he had a gumad.
He had a quad. She also was Michael O'Keefe's girlfriend for a while. Anyway,
Oh, see, here you go.
we know too many of the same people. So wait, we got to get back to the acting question. But when did you know? Did you know they were going to kill you, Pussy? When did you find how much in advance did you know they were going to kill you?
A year.
Oh, that had to suck.
Yeah, because every time you go to work, you pick up the script, you wonder if you're going to get killed.
Oh,
and he waited, and he held it off till the last episode, which was genius. He treated me right. I got no complaints with David Chase. I wouldn't be on this talk show with you tonight or podcast if it wasn't for The Sopranos.
Yeah.
You know, that's what changed everybody's life. I mean, I was working before that. So was Jimmy. Everybody was, but that changed everybody's life.
So, all right. So tell me how you became an actor. So you're in this, you're running this, you have this.
No, well, how did I become an actor? It's like, you know, okay, I teach acting now. So are my students in my class actors? Yes. Why? Because they're learning the craft. So how do you become an actor? When you start to study. You don't have to have a union card. You have to start doing work.
Absolutely. But when did you make the decision, okay, now I'm going to pursue this. This is going to be my life.
I think when I was having problems with my marriage because I was having the conflict of running a bus terminal in White Plains, New York, and maybe going on vacation 2 weeks out of a whole year and getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning and coming home.
Wow.
Then to becoming an actor, and I started doing community theater, and my wife said to me, you put more time into community theater than you're ever home. And I said, well, that's what I always loved. She says, well, if you want to be an actor, go. And we started having problems. And then I became an actor. And the biggest joy I had in my life is when I took my daughter to the Sopranos premieres.
Oh.
You know, and I introduced Renee, my daughter, to Bruce. She was holding Bruce's jacket one night. You know, that's my life now, you know. With Steven and everything, you know, and that's my life now. And I don't have any regrets except that I wish I was smart enough to keep my marriage together and still be an actor. You know, what was wrong?
No, I totally.
Yeah, no, because when you want to become an artist, any kind of an artist, you have to sacrifice. You're not making any money. You're putting out. These kids who study with me in school, they're laying out money for classes, headshots, transportation.
I did it. I know. I did all that. Yes.
Know?
So, okay. So what was your first professional gig where you got paid?
I got paid?
Yeah.
The black, what? It was a horror movie.
Yeah.
I got $300.
Okay, and so
Black something, and then I did True Love with Aunt Annabella and Nancy, and we won awards. And then I started doing, you know, Goodfellas. But anyway,
so give me an example of when you were on a set and you were an extra and you did something to get yourself upgraded. What would you do? Give me an example.
Well, you have to know the script.
Okay.
You got to know what's going on. You just can't all of a sudden, you know, like, okay. When I was working with Bobby on Deniro on the boxing movie, what was that called?
Raging Bull.
No, not Raging Bull. It was with Jessica Lange, and it was a remake. Yeah, he was an ambulance chaser, Deniro.
Right.
And we're working over at the gym on 42nd Street, and Todd Thaler said, "Vinny, you're gonna do off-camera line." he's going to go to the phone, and you're going to be the guy talking to him on the other end of the phone. He's going to say, "Where's blah blah blah," and I yell out, "He's in the hospital," off camera. So what happens? I get hired. So I get hired by the director, the guy who directed Rocky, whatever his name was, I forgot. And I get hired, and I go to wardrobe. And they said, "What are you coming to wardrobe for?" I says, "Just in case you need me on camera." So now, after Bobby does that thing, I stayed on the room, and as he walked around the room, because he walks around the room checking all the boxes, I stayed in back of him about 3 feet. And I just kept walking, and I'm in every goddamn scene. And then when they said, "Cut," we're walking down the steps, and I turned, I said, "Bobby, thanks for the day." He said, "Where you going?" I said, "I'm going home. I only have 1 day's work." He kept me on the set all week.
Nice.
That's Bobby.
Nice.
He did the same thing in Bronx Tale. He did the same thing in Awakenings. In Awakening, I had no lines. Penny gave me an upgrade, and Bobby said he's going to be my bodyguard. The same thing in Goodfellas, I was hired. But the great story is Carlito's Way. Because in Carlito's Way, Bonnie Timmerman was casting Carlito's Way, and I went up to our office to audition for a role that went to Joe Savario, who just recently passed away, the role of Vinny. And I didn't get that. So now I get a call from Sylvia Fay. "Vinny, you want to do extra work?" I said, "Yeah, why not?" Carlito's Way. So first time I was working was the scene down on 6th Avenue with Pacino's on the roof with the garbage can on his head, and he's looking at Penelope Miller dancing, ballet. I'm one of the cab drivers go up and down the street. In fact, I will never forget, Tony Schirripa comes down the street from Marilu's. Remember Marilu's?
Yeah, sure.
And he comes down the street, and he knocks on the window. He's, "What are you doing in there? What are you doing driving a cab? You're better than that." I said, "I'm making a living. I'm making $300 tonight. Get out of the cab." I said, "I'm not getting out of this cab." So what happened is I got a phone call from Marty's office. Who was it? Bregman. It was Michael. Michael Bregman. Yeah. He says, "This is Michael. Vinny, Michael. He wants you in the Copa scene. Were you in this movie yet?" I said, "No." He says, "You weren't in this movie?" I said, "No," because I knew they didn't see me in the cab. So we go up, and the old man says, "You guys are sitting at that table, and Sean's going to make a reaction to the dance. He's going to call McGinney." And I says, "Oh, what do we do?" "Oh, you don't do nothing. You just sit there." I said, "We don't do nothing." He calls him McGinney. You sit there. So Brian De Palma says, "Action," and I go running across the floor. I said, "Who you calling McGinney?" And Brian says, "Who's that guy? Who told him to do that?" And they said, "Get him off the set." And I swear to God, Al Pacino says, "No, it worked. Keep it." And Brian said, "Well, let them all run from the table." And they all ran from the table. It was me, Tony Cucci, my cousin Gary Pastore. We all got upgraded. So they used to call me the Upgrade King. Can't do that no more.
So how did you transition? You can't do it anymore?
No, that's right off the set. I did the same thing on that movie, It Could Happen to You. I was a bowler, and I was doing lines walking up to get my check. "Hey, I can't wait to get my check." And Henry Bronstein, who was the AD, who became a producer on The Sopranos, told him, he said, "Shut up." I said, "What?" He said, "You're not supposed to talk." So I shut up. And then Andrew Bregman came over, and he says, "Where was that great dialogue from before?" I said, "He told me not to talk." He says, let them talk, give them all contracts, give them what they want. And we all got contracts and we got trailers. I was the Upgrade King. I swear to God, I'm not making this up.
Wow. All right. So how did you make the transition from being an extra to now getting cast in a role?
Well, on Law and Order, I was doing extra work. All of a sudden, they started giving me day players, and they gave me a principal in one episode. New York Undercover. They saw my work. I was doing extra work. They gave me a couple of principals. I did one episode with Jeffrey Wright. So it was like working my way up. But then when I did Jerky Boys, with Alan Arkin. It was a co-starring role, and my agent Robert Adaman, who I've been with for 25 years, said to me,
Fantastic.
he said, "Now you're on your way, because you
Wow.
covered a movie."
And so once you got that, what did the work start to fall into place?
Yeah, because I wound up getting Gotti, and then I got Sopranos.
All right, let's talk
And in
about
between,
let's
Witness
talk
the
about
Mob.
Gotti.
I started getting bigger roles. Yeah.
Let's talk about Gotti, because that was an unbelievable film. Just Armand Assante, amazing. So was that a thrilling project to work on? I imagine it must have been.
Well, yeah, and I tell you that I never forget. We were flying from LaGuardia to Toronto. I was sitting next to Tony Sirico, and he said, "This is going to be the role of your life. You're playing Angelo." Because they all knew who Angelo was. I didn't know. I grew up in New Rochelle. I knew who the guy was. But I did my research. And Armand, even though Robert Harmon, the director, said it's your role, I had to get approval from Armand. And I think Armand had to get approval from somebody, because when we were filming up in Canada, Ruggerio's family came up and they told me, "We love what you're doing." Because we were making these guys look good.
Wow. So did you must have known gangster, you must have known mafioso in your business.
What business? Oh, you mean
being in the club? Being in the bar
it's
business.
in my play. People like Carmine Smash, and he would come in and shake everybody down. We knew about it, but they didn't bother us.
Does it even exist anymore? I mean, I remember, I used to go down to Umberto's in the 70s and 80s. I mean, they were everywhere. Does it still exist anymore? Is there?
I'm doing research because I'm doing View from the Bridge. I'm doing research on the docks, and they're investigating the docks still. Here it is, 2022.
Really?
And they said the waterfront's still corrupt, and it's run by the mob. It's run by the Gigante family.
Were you friends with any mobsters?
Pelham Bay. Yeah, Pelham Bay and Arthur Avenue, because a lot of the guys that worked in Harlem lived in New Rochelle. They lived in New Rochelle. They lived in Westchester. There was an FBI office in New Rochelle on the 7th floor, and they a lot of the wise guys lived in New Rochelle. So yes, and who gave my father permission to go around? He used to go around and do the Sunday afternoon football bets. That was illegal back then. It was before everything became legal. And my father used to loan money out, to people. Like, we ran the clubs, and
right.
Where's your father? I says, he's working Wednesday. I knew what he was doing. He would loan guys money and they pay him back. He used to loan my friend Richie Palmer, who's out in LA. Richie, Mulberry Street Pizza. He used to loan Richie money every Wednesday night. I don't know what he did with it, but he paid back Daddy on Saturday. Richie. You know Richie?
I don't know Richie, but I know Mulberry. Yes, I do know
Mulberry Street Pizza. Yeah. Richie was there with Cathy Moriarity for years.
Cathy just became a friend of mine. We just started talking on Facebook. She's going to do my show. I love Cathy.
Tell her you were with me. Tell her I love her. She's my sister.
She already loved, like, the post. Well, I posted on Facebook. Cathy was one of the first people to, when she saw you were on, to love it.
So we're working in Peachtree's. It was 1979.
Oh my God.
Me and Brian, and Cathy comes in late at night, and she says, what time are you guys closing up? I said, I don't know. We're going to be here for a while. Well, she says, well, I got to stay up all night. I says, why? She says, I'm shooting a scene over at the golf course on City Island with Bobby. And she stayed up all night, hung out with me and Brian. She went to work. She shot that scene right down the street from me. There's a little picture of her, like they shot on the putting thing, and
yeah,
and the whole thing with Raging Bull is, we knew Frank Vincent from being a nightclub guy with Joe Pesci,
right?
A movie with Pesci. So those were some of the guys that inspired me. Frank Vincent inspired me.
Absolutely.
To be an actor, and when I worked 11 movies with him.
Wow.
And I said to Frankie, I said, I'm sitting in my bar one night with Matt Dillon and Kevin. We're watching Public Rented Village. And Matty said, you could do that kind of work.
Eric Roberts is a friend. Oh, what a great movie that is. So
Eric Roberts is your friend?
yeah, he
He's a
is.
sweetheart. I love him.
He is a sweetheart, and his wife is too. So I heard that Kevin and Matt Dillon were very instrumental in you becoming an actor. Is that
Yeah,
so?
well, it's Kevin. It was Kevin more than Maddie. Maddie said to Kevin, "Take care of Vinny, help him out." And actually, Kevin and I were in Saudi Arabia pre-pandemic. We were out there with that Comic Fest,
Wow.
Comic Con.
Yeah.
He was with Entourage. I was with the Sopranos, me, Federico, Johnny Sachs, and everybody was out there. Lou Ferrigno, everybody, William Shatner. So Kevin would say, because we weren't allowed to go out, so we go back to the hotel. We couldn't go out that night. We go back to the hotel. We're having hamburgers. Couldn't even drink. And Kevin would say, "I discovered Vinny," and he was talking about it on his podcast tonight. So he's proud of me.
So how did he encourage you? What was that? What was that
He
about?
set up an appointment. He was going to, he said, "Vinny, you got an
Oh.
appointment with my manager." I said, "To do what?" I was mopping the floor at my bar. He says, "Today." I says, "What?" So I says, I hopped in a cab. I was broke. I went down there. I went upstairs. The guy says, "The only reason why you're here is because Kevin Dillon asked you to come in, but you don't know what you're doing." And I went home. I was heartbroken. Kevin called me, "How'd you make out?" He called me from Toronto. I says, "I fell on my face." He says, "I'll call you tomorrow." He called me back the next day. He says, "You got to go learn a monologue, get some headshots. I'll see you in a month." I said, "Okay, Kev."
Wow.
I went in the second time. Charlie Massey said, "Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go down the corner, go to NYU, go down in the basement, and start doing student film."
Wow, I did a bunch of those too. But you studied at HB, which you now teach at, but
Yeah,
also with Bill Hickey. And
Bill Hickey.
I heard you say that it's being an actor is like being a boxer. You have to train. And
Right.
so you take your training, you took your training seriously, is what I got from that.
Yeah. Well, after I worked with Bill and Michael Beckett, and I wound up working on Bill's TV show. He was doing a TV show in Hoboken. And I wound up, and Billy he took about an upgrade. He used to put me in all the scenes with him, Mr. Hickey.
Wow.
He was amazed. Did he have the coffee cup in front of him?
Always.
What was in the coffee cup?
Imagining it was something a little potent.
Yeah, to keep him going. I used to
Yeah.
study with him Saturdays, but I loved Michael. But then I went, and it's ironic. I went to see American Buffalo.
Uh-huh.
The Circle in the Square with Al
Wow.
and Tommy Waits and J.J. Johnson. And I went next door to Kenny's after the show, and I was hanging out, and in comes the guy who played Bobby with a guitar over his shoulder. It was Tommy Waits, Tommy G. Waits. And I said, "Hey, didn't I just see you next door playing Bobby?" He said, "Yeah, who are you?" I said, "I'm Vinny." He said, "Vinny, near a show." He says, "You Vinny from the Crazy USA?" I said, "How'd you hear about me?" He said, "I was going to get in touch with you. I got a band. I want to play there." I said, "What?" And me and Tommy became good friends. He became my acting coach, my acting
Wow.
teacher. When I worked on
Wow.
Sopranos, when I died and everything, he was right next to me.
Wow. All right. So tell us how did you get the Sopranos? What was that process like? Obviously you auditioned, I assume.
Yeah, because of Gotti, it was a hit.
Right.
HBO,
Right.
they brought those actors in first. Me, Tony, Sirico, Dominic, Frankie Pellegrino, all those people, Ray Serra, all these guys came in, and Frank Vincent. We all auditioned. See, like Frank auditioned from day one, and David kept saying, "I don't have nothing yet, but I'm going to give you something." And then years later, he gave him Phil Leotardo. So he kept his promise to a lot of people. Same thing with
And
Ray Liotta. I heard that Ray Liotta was supposed to be on The Sopranos, but he wound up saving him. He's in Many Saints of Newark. David's a good guy.
did you guys know when you were shooting the pilot? Like I'm watching it again from scratch. The pilot was very confusing to
I
me
know.
watching
We
it
didn't
now.
think we didn't think it was good. What was that about?
It was
With
kind
the
of
ducks. We didn't get. I think this is a gangster show. What are the ducks?
so
Tony Sirico. Even
when
Jimmy didn't get it. I think a lot of people didn't get it, And if you look at the pilot and then into the second episode of season one, it became more about the gangster family, me and Sirico chasing after the kid the teacher's car got stolen, all that comedy, going into the coffee place, up until the end of the season with me, where Sirico took me and told me to take off my shirt in the spa, and I wouldn't take off my shirt. And then I was missing, and then they killed the wrong guy. It was genius.
And it got so dark. I mean, I'm in season 5 now. It is so dark. Oh my God.
What's going on in season 5?
Well, Tony and Adriana just had the car accident, and Michael thought that she was sucking his. And so Michael just beat the shit out of Adriana, and it's so dark. And then Joey Pantoliano did my living room. He slept on my bed before, and I just watched the one where they cut his head off and he's in the bowl. Yeah. Joey Pants, and it's in the bowl. I mean, oh my God! And the one when he beats the shit out of the
Schirripa.
And I just heard him say in an interview that women came on to him after they saw him do that scene, which is that's very upsetting. If that's true, that's really upsetting. That was a horrible scene. But so when did you know, okay, this is the real deal? When in that first scene, when you were shooting, did
we know that it was going to mean something?
Yeah.
We were sitting in the West Bank Cafe. It was having lunch. It was me, Dominic, Tony Sirico, and Steve came over, the owner. He said, "You guys see what they got down the corner?" And we said, "What?" He said, "Go down the corner." And we walked down to the corner of 42nd and Broadway.
Yeah.
And it said, "Come in the Sopranos, HBO." And we were there on the whole wall, all the way up, the first marquee, and it was like King Kong, What is this? And what happened is that we had to shoot all of the first season before anybody even saw it.
Wow.
Not like if we worked on, like Law and Order.
Right.
Now it's on 2 months from now. No, they waited. And then we had a break, like a year in between each episode. And then by the time the episode was done and went on, so that's why sometimes you people didn't see it for 2 years.
Right. There were long
Because
lags.
He wouldn't give it to HBO until the whole season was in the can. Then he would turn it over. When I was going to die, nobody knew I was going to die. He wouldn't release it to any publications, the TV Guide, nobody. I'm down the corner. I didn't have the house then. I had my apartment. I'm upstairs with this girl I was seeing and my friend Stormy, who was actually worked for Daryl and John. And we're sitting there, and I had the New York Post on one side and the Daily News on the next side. They did not know what was going to happen on my TV screen. And the next day, I made 2-page story in the New York Post, Big Pussy's dead.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. That had to be a heartbreak, though, to get whacked on there. No?
No, because it wasn't that big yet.
Oh,
when they killed me, they killed me. They were only showing the first season, and then when I was dead, they showed the second season. After they showed the second season, it blew up, and everybody got a raise, and I couldn't get a raise because I was no longer on the show.
But you did get a SAG award.
Oh, I got it right here.
There you go. So, okay, so. But you still stayed part of that Sopranos family, obviously, because you're still so entwined with all of them to this day.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so what happened after the Sopranos for you?
I went to LA. I did Deuces Wild. I did Maid. I did The Hurricane. I went to Guatemala with Ben Gazzara. I met Talia Shire. We did Looking for Paladin. Talia and I kind of, and then we did another movie, Tale of Two Pieces in LA. I love Talia. Servant Sarah with Matthew Perry. I just started working,
And you've worked a lot.
Practice. Oh, I went to Guy Ritchie's movie Revolver, which is over here. See Revolver?
Yes.
I did that in London with Guy. You
How was
know?
that? Was he with Madonna then? Was he
Yeah,
with, yeah,
Madge. Yeah. I call her Madge.
you
See,
call him that.
she was friends with Debbie Mazar,
Yeah,
the
sure.
makeup person. Debbie was her makeup person. So Debbie was Madonna or Madge's good friend,
Right.
And so when you go to work with somebody and they know somebody, they're a little more comfortable. Hey, Vinny, how you doing? I'm friends with Debbie. Debbie said to say hi. I know Debbie loves you. Boom.
Yeah.
I remember when we had the premiere of Revolver at the Gramercy down in the city, and I took my ex-wife, Nancy, and I said to Madge, I said, "This is Nancy, she's my ex-wife." She says, "You took your ex-wife to your premiere?" She's standing right there. I said, "Yeah, why?" She says, "Why don't you guys just get married again?" I said, "Where's your husband?" And I walked away, and I left my ex-wife talking to Madonna, and they were talking, and I said to her later, "What did you guys talk about?" She says, "I didn't know she was such a great person." I said, "She's a human being. Come on."
Okay, but wait, but in the 70, in the 70, in the early 80s, I did an SNL skit. I was an extra for the Madonna and Sean Penn wedding. They did a takeoff with the helicopters and everything. And we were told not to look at her in the eye. That seriously, we were
She was
not
on
allowed
Saturday
to.
Night Live,
Yeah, she
and
hosted
you were told not to look at her in the eyes.
not to look at her in the eyes. That's when she was married to Sean Penn. So that was
Yeah, and
83.
that's when I was doing State of Grace. I was doing extra work, and I got an upgrade on that too.
So did I. I became Sean Penn's aunt in that.
Where? On State of
In
Grace?
no, in SNL on the sketch.
You became his
I was
aunt?
his aunt, but I got cut on that one too because it wasn't in the original thing. Every time they
Uh,
upgraded me, it didn't work.
I
But
like Sean a lot. I mean, he was close with Jimmy, and when we used to go to LA to the Peninsula for our award shows and stuff, Sean would come over and we would sit around and we drink all night. See, Leo Penn was, I think he had something to do with Jimmy where they used to play cards and stuff. They were close. But Sean's a good guy. I remember I was staying at was it Fairmont? Is it the Fairmont in Santa Monica?
yes,
Yeah, we were staying there for serving Sarah, and they put us up there, and me and my
yeah.
daughter, and I got in late, and go to the back. I go to check in, and I see get the keys of my car, and they gave me keys to. I said, "Whose car is this? This ain't mine." They said, "That car right there." I said, "That ain't my car." They said, "Oh, it's Sean's car." That's how I knew Sean was there. I said, "Well, don't give me Sean Penn's car. I don't want." So I go out. My daughter's sitting there with my publicist, and she said, "Daddy, Sean's here." I said, "Yeah, I know. They almost gave me his car." So he was staying in the back at the bungalows, and he was doing a music video to come in. And he came and sat down, and he talked to my daughter, and
Oh,
he walked away. I said, "Bye, Sean." And I mean, I was friends with his brother Chris,
oh,
and
Chris was a great actor too.
I did Corky Romano with Chris. And I told my daughter, and she learned early. I said, "These people are regular people. They're artists, man. You see movies like Colors and stuff where you could see Sean working. I love, one of my favorite Sean movies is At Close Range with Christopher.
Fabulous
And
movie.
Madonna did the music.
Wow, I don't even remember that.
Yeah. 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 Isn't it
So,
nice talking? I feel like I'm talking. This
you
is a
feel
nice conversation.
it
Thank
is
you.
a nice conversation. I was a little intimidated because I
Was I
reached
saw you
out to.
naked before? Why don't you tell your audience I peeked in too early?
No, we both got on early at the same time, and I was in my pajamas still with no makeup on. Oh yeah, yeah. But no, it does. If I feel like I know you forever because we know like a
We
million
got the
of the
same
same
people.
people.
Benny. Benny.
It's great, Benny. Benny. Oh my God.
Benny
I
played
just.
at my bar in 1981 with Street Kid. Benny says that I started his career. I love Benny.
Oh,
He's a
he
brother.
played
He's a
for me.
brother.
86. He played for me, but I just saw him at NAMM like right before the pandemic. I saw Benny. I hadn't seen him in years.
Yeah.
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 Do you still see him?
He plays with my band. See, the Gangster Squad could be anybody.
I see. It's like a jam band.
It's well, if I can't get the main guys, then I call it like Ivan plays with me on bass and Al Orlo and Timmy Curtin and all these different guys, and I grab a lot of guys from Jersey now when I get my Jersey gigs. Sammy, that's what you got to do.
Okay, so tell me how the singing and dancing, like how did you prepare to do Bullets Over Broadway? Had you studied musical theater? Had you done musical theater?
Yeah, I did some musical theater in New Rochelle, community theater. But
like what had you done in what because I was like in Fiddler on the Roof and what did you do what did you do in musical theater? What shows did you do?
Fiddler on the Roof, first job. The Russian dancer.
I was Sprincy, the youngest daughter.
South Pacific. Anything
goes. I was Nellie
Forbush. South Pacific, anything goes. Guys and Dolls.
Oh yeah, I could see you in that.
Angry Man was my first dramatic play.
Wow.
I was I was the understudy, and then I worked my way up there too.
How did you get Bullets Over Broadway? How the hell did that happen?
I was on the phone with Tony Darrow this morning.
Yeah.
It was either Tony or me. And Tony Darrow from Goodfellas and Sopranos, he's a ball breaker. He called me up on Saturday morning about 7:30 in the morning. Vinny, it's Tony. I just talked to Woody. He said he's going to give it to you because you're fatter than me. I said, he didn't give it to me because I'm fatter than you.
That's terrible.
But I was up against Tony, yeah.
Did you sing in there? You had to sing.
You had to.
Of course. For your audition.
You had to go in and be off book with the sides.
Right. And
you had to sing it,
What was your audition song for that? Do you remember?
Well, Tony Danza helped me because I auditioned for A Honeymoon in Vegas, the musical, and Tony called me up as soon as I left the audition room. He says, "Hey, blow it! Don't you know what you're doing? You got to come in with a medley of songs. You didn't know what'd you do?" I said, "Okay." He said, then when I had Bullets coming up, I said, "Tony," he said, "Vinny, prepare a medley of songs, 3 songs, knock it out, something that's on the same vein of the show." He said, and
good
you
advice.
Have to be, yes, and he says, and try to bring your own accompaniment, your piano player.
Wow.
He said, because you work with those guys and they're gonna work. So on my callback, my final callback, I'm sitting in the hallway, and Tony Darrow comes out and he says to me, "You might as well go home." And I said, "Okay." He said, "You might as well go home," because he was close with Woody. He did all the Woody Allen movies, and he was in the original movie Bullets Over Broadway. So Tony had that role, but I went in there and I was more of this guy, and the guy, as you saw in the play, he's not supposed to be an attractive, slick casino owner. He's supposed to be like kind of a slob who's got this young girl.
Yeah. When you smile, you look like Bobby D. Anyone ever tell you that?
Love makes me treat you the way that I do. Gee, baby, ain't I good to you? There's nothing too good that a girl wouldn't do. Gee, baby, ain't I good to you? I bought you, Bob. That's the song.
Wow.
Yeah, I when I work with my guys, they say, "How come you don't sing the songs from the shows that you did?" I said, "They don't want to hear that."
Yeah, they do.
You think so?
I do.
Man, I did sell.
I think. And that's like the best song ever.
I was able.
I know that's.
I did it with Aida. Yeah. One night I was on stage on a Saturday night and I forgot all my words. I really did. I went up. And I realized that the audience was sold out, but everybody was from Europe, so I really didn't. So I went off stage, and they were clapping. And the guy said to me, the stage manager says, "What the hell was that?" I said, "They didn't. Yeah, they don't understand."
What did you do? What did you do?
I improvised. I made up.
Oh my God!
Because I went up. But you know what? A lot of people went up on that show. It's a hard show.
I saw Chicago.
Me and Aida came out of a strike. There was a strike going on. We couldn't even work with the cast. Someone said, "You're going on tonight."
Wow.
And boom. So it was hard,
Wow.
That's what it's about.
Did you study dance? How did you do all that? Because did you study dance? Did you ever take dance classes?
No.
How did you work with Susan Stroman without ever taking a dance class?
Because she's a teacher.
Wow.
She's a doll.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
Well, you know, we were riding around doing a lot of press together. And she said, Vinny, I auditioned every soprano on that show.
Wow.
She said, yeah, but I wanted you. She's the doll. Who
Wow.
tells you? You know, she was just.
That's the best. I love that story. So, all right. So how did you start doing soap operas? And did you do, you did Days of Our Lives? One Life to Live.
And
General
the one in
Hospital.
LA. The one in LA.
General Hospital. And so what was that like for you? What was it like working on a soap opera?
It's hard.
Because it's every day.
In the morning, they change the script on you.
Wait.
I said, well, how am I going to learn this stuff while we're shooting at 2:00? And you're stuck in your room learning the lines.
All right, tell me. We started the interview with this conversation. How do you learn your lines? Do you have a trick? Do you have a secret?
I write them down. I learn my lines as a monologue first, and I don't look at the cues, and then I start bringing in the cues. I learn my lines as a monologue. I don't have to work on this until April 24th or something, but I got my guy coming over, one of my students, on Saturday to help me learn it already, because you got to be ready. How many takes are they going to give us? You know what I mean? You got to be ready. My hardest job I've had recently was Hawaii Five-0, because what happened is that that role was written for Tony Sirico, and Tony got sick and he couldn't do it. So they said, okay, Vinny, you're up next. And then they gave it to Andrew Dice. I said, okay, I forgot about it. And I was down at the cutting room, my band and my agent come running in. And we're rocking all. He said, you're getting on a plane and we're going to LA. I said, what? He says, Andrew can't do it. You're doing it. I said, how am I going to learn all those lines now?
Wow.
And when I got to LA, the first thing they did is they put me through a man-tan machine, and I was fighting with the girl, and she said, I just did Bradley Cooper. I said, yeah, all right, but I didn't get no sleep. And I got to work in the morning. And then I got on the set, and they gave me an easy scene, but I wasn't sharp. And the director said, are you having a problem? I said, yeah, I ain't slept all night, man. You know, I said, can we rehearse? He said, we don't have time to rehearse. I said, well, then you're going to get what you get. And then I was out there 19 days. And then by the end of the 19 days, they came up to me and says, I know how you work now.
Wow. That's a nice compliment.
I got to be prepared. I can't just, I don't know how my students do it. I can't just learn something real. I got to work on it. I walk around with my script until you say action and I throw it down, because, you know, I wasn't trained classically or any of that. I don't know that. I mean, when people say, how do you teach? I said, well, I teach the stuff.
I was just going to ask, how do you, what?
I teach the plays. I teach the plays I know. I know Mamet. I know Clifford Odets. I know Tennessee Williams. You know, I'm working on Beckett now. You know, I teach the plays I know. I say, here, guys, this is what you're doing. You're doing On the Waterfront. You're doing Born Yesterday. I teach the plays I know. You're doing Shepherd.
What happened during the pandemic? Did you stop teaching, or what?
Me and Maureen we went viral. We went on Zoom. Me and Maureen Van Zandt. First thing we did is little Steven directed us in a vignette, Lovers and Other Strangers, and I kept saying, Steven, I can't work this way. I'm on Zoom. You gotta. I said, I don't. This is ridiculous. You're not off book. I says, well, how am I? Well, read that. So then I was putting up one. We got it done. Then Maureen says to me, you want to do Streetcar? I said, yeah. I said, I'll direct you. And it took us 9 months during the pandemic to put it together.
Wow.
And then taped it. So then we did that. Now I'm doing View from the Bridge.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Maureen plays.
Where are you doing that?
We do it on Zoom. I can invite you.
Oh, yeah, invite me.
The next performance is April 14th. We'd love to have it.
I'm there.
We love this.
I'm Zoom. And so Steven was one of my first interviews. I was a VJ. I was working at Woody's. You remember Ron Wood's Club on 2nd Avenue? And Steven came to my opening night, Rock Girl, and I interviewed Steven. That was 1989. Oh my God, it's crazy. It's such a small world. Jesus. All right. So birthday cake. What's birthday cake?
It's on show. It's on Stars now.
Oh, it's out? Oh my God, I'm
It's been
excited.
out. Yeah, me and Val Kilmer. Yeah.
Okay, so Val, the producer of his documentary, is a friend of mine. Brad, have you seen Val, his documentary? It's amazing.
Yeah, he was on the set. Yeah. See,
So,
Val, what happened with Val, he attached himself to Birthday Cake and they raised the money. And then Val wound up having that procedure. So Val suggested that his dialogue goes to me because I was his underboss.
Oh.
So what he does in the movie is we explain how he got shot in the throat, and every time he say something, I would tell everybody what he just said.
I'm watching it tonight. I'm excited. I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know
it's good. It's good. That's out. That's out.
That's out. Okay, so what else is coming? Oh, so Spinning Gold is when is that one coming out?
Now Timmy says he's putting it together.
And Don Q. So Don Q.
Don Q is done. Armand asked me to come out to the house and watch it. They need distribution, but it's done. You know.
Did you watch it already, or are you going?
No, I don't know if I want to watch it. I think I want to wait until the theater. Armand said, "Come on up. I don't like it that much." I said, "What?" He said, "Reshoots." I said, "They ain't got no money for reshoots, Armand." He said, "Come up." So then I talked to him the other day. I said, "What's the matter?" He says, "Nah, I like it because he's hard on himself. He's one of the hardest working actors I've ever met in my life."
Wow.
Armand Asante. But he's a brother. You know, he called me up, Vinny, you want to do this? He said, it's like Don Quixote. And I said, what part you want me to play? He says, well, play the mobster, just got out of prison. And I was working on it, and I called him up, and I called Dirk. I said, I don't want to play this guy.
Why?
Because it wasn't me. I said, I want to play the actor. He says, yeah, the actor is me. See, he's a big fan of my work. So he asked me to go and help fight Dulcinea, Don Quixote. And he comes to me, and we created this whole story within the story. It was all improvisation. With me and Armand for a week.
Wow.
And we just went with it. And that's what
Do you get to do that a lot? Do you get to improvise on set?
On independent films, yes. It saves a lot of scenes sometimes. You know, sometimes and you learn that from working with guys like Marty. They let you improvise, and then they lock it in, though.
Right.
You know, it's like, you know, improvisation is a wonderful exercise for you to learn how to trust yourself. You know, but when you're doing a play, you can't improvise. You know that.
When you do scene study with your students, do you ever have them improvise the scene aside from doing the lines? No, never.
Rehearsal, yeah.
Just to
in rehearsal. Yeah. I say, okay, let me do an exercise. It's the same lines. It's not the same lines, but it's the same situation.
Right.
Yeah. I let them do that. But when you ask about how do you memorize lines, I don't know how they do it.
So you make it a monologue, then you insert the other stuff.
Yeah, but, I mean, I write it down. Jimmy taught me how to do the cards.
What's that?
On you get cards. A little, you know, photo cards, the white cards, and on one side you write their line, and on the other side you write your line, and you test yourself. And you answer, and then you flip it over. It's like, you know, and you see that, and you keep the cards with you, because what happens, like when I was working on Wu-Tang, they kept changing my lines, you know, RZA, and I said okay, and I would write it down, and I keep the card in my thing, and then you know, I would know what to say because I had the line that close to me, because I have my little cards.
Right.
You know? And I say, okay, this is next. But that's how I work.
Has it gotten harder as you've gotten older? Because my memory is just for shit now.
Well, I smoke a lot of pot.
Yeah, I used to love the pot.
What do you mean used to? I smoke a lot of pot.
I haven't smoked pot in 21 years. It was my love. It was my Mary Jane was my girl.
I don't recommend my actors smoking pot, but let me tell you something. It doesn't hurt with memorization.
Really?
It helps me memorize better.
Can't believe it.
Music, sometimes I smoke a joint. Me and Louie, behind the scenes, me and Ducky, he played Skip on The Sopranos, the Fed, undercover with me. We'd come over because he lived on the other side of the water. He lived over in Country Club with his mother. He'd come over here. We smoke weed. We work on my lines. I pick him up. We go the next day. We smoke a joint out of the way to Jersey. We get there. We spray ourselves with cologne. They come over, 2 takes, and on the way home, we smoke another joint. And I'll tell you that now, but and then Tony Sirico said, you know why you got fired? Because you were smoking pot all the time. I said, get out of here. That's how you get fired. But no.
You got whacked.
I've been smoking pot since 1967.
You and me both.
Yeah, but you stopped.
I did. Yeah, but I smoked for like 40 years, 30 years. I smoked for a ridiculous every day, wake and bake all day long. Yeah, I was a big pot smoker. That was my passion. But yeah, I gave it up.
But it's legal now. Did you ever?
I know, and I never got to go to a pot store, and I never got to have an edible. Oh my God.
Why not?
Because I had already quit.
Hey, you can buy it down the corner. What are you talking about?
Because I'm sober. I'm clean and sober.
I'm doing a movie out in the desert with Tom Sizemore.
Oh my God.
The Joshua Tree, right? So
Tom is like the biggest. Yeah, go ahead.
Listen, so he just came out of rehab or something, and he said he was clean. So we're working on this crazy movie called Calico Way or something. I don't know. It was from Italy. And me and Tommy called me. He said, "You want to do it?" I said, "Yeah, good money." So I flew out there, and we're doing the scene. So I said to Tommy, "What we're shooting?" I said, "You got any pot?" He says, "I'm clean. I don't smoke no more." I says, "Well," because I had just worked with Tommy in Connecticut. I says, "Well, I don't know. I don't know nobody out here. How am I going to get any pot, man?" He says, "I'm clean. Don't ask me." So we were going back to L.A. the next day, and the guy driving was one of the PAs on the set. And I said, "Boy, I wish I could have some pot." He says, "Why don't you ask Tom?" I says, "What are you talking about?" He says, "He had all the pot." I said, "He told me he was clean." He says, "He was high as a buzzhop."
Oh my God, hysterical. Somebody's asking, Maria's asking, do you watch your work and critique yourself, or do you just enjoy watching?
I like to watch myself now. I like to watch the early work now. I like when Sopranos, I would sit there every Sunday night and watch it, but then I stopped watching it for like 4 years, and then and then when they had the whole marathon when Saints was coming out, I watched it again, and I forgot so much.
That's what I'm having now. It's so great watching it again.
Yeah, I like to watch that. Movies, I'm kind of hard on myself in the movies, like I say, because they only give you 2 takes, and you say, "Oh man, why didn't I go back and try to?"
Did you have rehearsal and multiple takes doing The Sopranos?
We had rehearsals, we had read-throughs, but we only had 2 takes. So you had to be ready, and Jimmy was always ready. So if you're doing a scene with Jimmy, you go into his trailer and you run lines with Jimmy. That's the way Jimmy worked. That's the way I work. Run lines. If you and I were doing a movie together, as soon as I get to the set, it's, "Kid, you want to run lines today?" Even before we go to hair and makeup. And if you don't want to run lines with me, I say, "Fine, I find somebody else to run lines with me." Because when you get there and they say action, you got to give it to them.
Absolutely.
You say, "How did you get to become a wise guy?" Well, how did I get to kill people? I never killed nobody.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
How do you become a vampire? I mean, it's all called acting. How do you become? I was just watching Cyrano de Bergerac before when I was in between. That's a masterpiece. How do you step into that? It's called acting. The first thing I start to think about when I'm creating a role is the exterior. What does this guy look like? Does he wear a suit? Does he wear a sweatsuit? Does he wear glasses? Where's he from? How is he dressed? And once you start to wear the outfit exterior, it becomes you. Because you're wearing clothes that belongs to this person. So that person, and I had a lot of it is the jewelry and all that stuff. Or if you're going to play a baker. Like I did a short film called Kids Menu, what Richie Viteri wrote.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you become a pizza owner? I never ran a pizza joint. You know, you go in a pizza joint, you go to Richie's place, you go to somebody's place, maybe you make the pie, maybe you got to take all this stuff in. It's a little method, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You got to live a little.
Okay, so you never made pizza, but you did make pizza sauce. You had your own sauce for a while, didn't you?
Yeah, but it went kapunk during the pandemic. Nobody was buying it. Yeah, it was hard because you got to go out and market that. You got to go out to personal. I wasn't going out to the stores and that.
How did you come up with the recipe? Like, what made yours special? It had pot in it.
I really don't want to talk too much on podcasts about that because
did it have pot in it? Is that what made?
I'm making my own my sauce next time. It's called Big Pussy's Marijuana Sauce.
You know, back in college in Tucson, I used to make sauce with instead of oregano. Instead of oregano, I used to brown the pot and I used to put it in my sauce.
Did you get a buzz?
Oh hell, got kicked your ass. Are you kidding?
Why don't we go partners?
Okay, I'm in. Well, I'm sober. I can't do that.
You don't have to get high. Don't get high on your own supply. You don't gotta. Come on. Just sell the shit. Make some money.
I could use to make some money. All right. So speaking of making money, what the hell was with Shark Tank? What the hell is wait? What was your thing called? It was called Vinny's Wad. What was Vinny's Wad?
Broccoli wad. Why are you bringing up all these things that bombed in my life?
No, come on. All right. I brought up all the things that were good too. No, but what? No, but didn't one of them buy your thing and market it as something called something else?
It never happened.
Oh, that was bullshit. Okay.
No, it wasn't bullshit. They were serious on that show, but the guy who brought me on the show, who manufactured the broccoli wad, he just didn't follow it through. So I don't know how many people, now that I know that happened to me, how many people on that show, when they say, okay, we're going to put money into your thing, does that really happen? Because they said, we're going to put money into the thing, but it never happened. It never happened.
I see. Well, they make it sound like it did, but
it never happened.
What about, all right, so speaking of things that are staged, so you did Celebrity Apprentice. Oh my God, don't get me started on that. But was that faked? Was that, how much of that was faked?
Nothing. It was real, 100%.
Really?
Yeah. Me, Stephen Baldwin, Trace. I love Trace Atkins. We had a good time. Lennox Lewis. That was all real. You know that? Did you watch it?
I actually watched your season, yes.
Did you see the episode when they made me a rat?
Yes, you were going back and forth, yes.
Yeah, with Marilu Henner. She was a doll.
Marilu did my living room also. I did her show. I love Marilu.
Marilu's a doll. She told me she used to have sex with Tony Danza on Taxi. I bet she made love with everybody, even Danny DeVito. She said that she had a relationship. She said it's in her book that she had a relationship with almost everybody on the set of Taxi. God bless her.
Wow.
Can we get sued for that, saying that stuff? She told me. Huh?
If she told you, you can't get sued for saying that stuff. You're not making
all right, so cut this out of the show.
No, I can't cut. You're live. There's no net here. You're flying without a net.
You watching in?
Huh?
She's a doll. Let's not get me in trouble. I ain't talking about her no more. But I love Tony Danza. Tony Danza told me he loved it too. So I think it's really true. So maybe they had their own relationship.
That's sweet though.
Yeah.
Did you ever date someone that you were working with?
I don't want to talk about that.
No. Okay. We won't go there. We won't talk about that. No. So what do you want to do next, Vincent? What would you be?
Well, exactly what I'm doing now.
Which is what?
Which I'm working with my guys on my students on Zoom.
Okay.
We're putting up some plays. We're gonna start going down to the school next week.
Are you
And
sure? When do you start shooting the show with Chaz?
end of April at Long Island on a golf course. We're all playing golf together.
Nice.
I ain't playing. I'm gonna sit in the car, and then I have some Soprano shows coming up with Michael and Steve. So I'm all right. I'm all right.
All right. So Michael told me he's out of the country for a couple months. He better not
Yeah,
be
he's in
lying to
Italy.
me. Oh, okay, it's a good thing. Otherwise, I'd have
He's
to
in
kill
Italy.
him.
He's doing that new show.
What?
It takes place in Italy. It's for HBO. He's working with Murray F. Abrams.
Nice.
He's happy. He brought his wife over.
Sweet. Her name's Vicki.
3 months he's over there with his wife, Michael. God bless him. Michael's a Buddhist, really strong now. Yeah, he gives me a lot of positive vibes and energy.
He's wonderful.
He stopped drinking.
He did?
Yeah. He doesn't drink. He won't smoke a joint. He won't do nothing. He's really focused.
Of my whole little short, long, but not successful acting career, the highlight was improvising a 10-minute scene with him in a Henry Jaglin film. Michael was fantastic.
What movie?
It's called The M Word. Michael was the star, and Henry Jaglin, The M Word for menopause. It was about women, but it was about 11 years ago, and Michael was always the best on set, just a professional, the greatest.
Very well prepared, yeah.
And just so great to improvise a scene with him. I had to be at the top of my game. It was fun. It was fun. He's great. So, all right. So Pussy. So you're doing all this stuff that you love, which is fantastic. And it's so nice to meet you, because I was really nervous, because when we were just writing on Facebook, you were kind of just very straight.
Because I'm handling my own career. I mean, you don't know whose podcast you're going to end up on. When I was doing my podcast with Storic, we did it for 2 years, me and Goomba. They would fill, if I get an offer to go on a podcast, I would say to Christian, find out who these people are.
Yeah.
So then when I get something through Facebook or whatever thing, I don't know. I mean, I get, and most of them turn out to be pretty good. This is a wonderful interview.
Thank you.
Sometimes you get stuck with a couple of people, they don't know what to ask you.
I watched a ton of your interviews in the last couple of days, and the one guy was absolutely hysterical. He had the most hardcore Queens accent. I went to high school in Queens, but he was really funny, just so hardcore Queens accent. It was a very sweet interview. He worshipped you. It was very cute. You just did it like a month.
That guy.
You just did it you just did it recently.
Was this Ralph or something? Rocky or something? Rocco?
I don't. He has a really heavy accent. It was.
Yeah, he was good. It was good.
Yeah,
but I didn't know who he was. It's not like my agency got an interview, so you don't know, but you got to trust people.
Well, I thank you for taking that risk with me. I really do.
It's like anything. I mean, you gotta, and then you wind up having friendships with these people. Because when I talk to Benny, I'm gonna say, guess whose show I was on? Benny.
Oh, Benny. Yes, please say hi to Ben. Please,
I may see them tomorrow night.
Oh my God, that's so crazy.
Go over a couple of the guys are playing tomorrow night, and I haven't been out, so I may just take an Uber and go over it, and I need a night out.
You know who's watching right now? Do you know Leland Sklar? He's the bass player he Bonnie Raitt and James Taylor and Phil Collins, and he's so famous. Anyway, he's watching, and he says, great show today. Lee's like the greatest bass player that ever was. So you guys have to meet. You'd love him. And he loves, but anyway.
Then he knew T-Bone. T-Bone was the bass player. He knew T-Bone.
I'm sure he does. I'm sure. But I have enjoyed this so much, Vinny. I had no idea. I was nervous, and you put me right at ease. You're so much, ever since I was in my pajamas.
I tell you what. Why don't you get in touch with me, and I'll talk to you in May.
What's in May? Oh, you're going to come back?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Also, you're gonna.
Because you can help me promote my band.
I'll help you. I
My
used to
band
promote
goes on
bands.
the road. My band goes on the road May 3rd. We're doing Bowery Electric, and then we're doing Pleasantville, and then we're doing Wonder Bar, Daryl's. I got a summer tour, and I like to promote people because they come out, the band.
I'm happy to put it all over my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram. I will do that for you. It'll be my
But
pleasure.
you got to get the band out to LA.
You got to come to LA.
I want to play Harriet's. What's the name of that place up in the top of Joshua Tree called Harriet's something?
I don't know. I've been to Joshua Tree once. I don't know a club there though. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's way up on top of the mountain.
Nice. That sounds fun.
Yeah, they all go up there to play.
Well, I would love you to come out here and play, and I would love to come see you live. How fun would that be? I haven't been to New York in 2.5 years. I haven't seen my mother. It's no good.
Well,
I'm still afraid to fly.
No, it ain't about flying. It's about New York has some serious violence problems that are going on. Whether you got this new mayor or the old mayor, I mean, it's bad. People
really.
Oh yeah. People getting thrown and.
Well, that I know. Yes, that was hard. That was horrible.
Something's happening to somebody. Some serious violent problems. Until they straighten it out.
Oh, geez.
I don't want to go downtown. I tell my daughter, you ain't getting on the subway.
Yeah, the subway's a scary place now. Listen, after we get I have to end the thing and then we go away, but I'm gonna get you back because I want to get your address. I'm gonna send you some stuff. And I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get you a gig in LA.
Okay. All right. So you want me to? How do you want me to give you my address and stuff?
I'm gonna hit you back. Come back on the Zoom after we sign off the air.
What are we spending the night together here? How long am I gonna be with you?
All right. Well, just email it to me then.
Yes, sweetheart.
And tell Schirripa I'm coming after him because I want him to do this too.
He's living out. He moved him back to the city.
Yeah, but I just want to. He'd Zoom. Do a Zoom.
Okay.
All right. Put in a good word for me.
I will.
All right. I love you. You're fantastic.
Who are you gonna say hello to for me? Benny.
Benny.
Okay. Here, hold on.
And Drew. I'm calling.
Don't go nowhere.
I'm calling Drew as soon as we get off the air.
Hold on. See if you can.
All right. I'm holding on. Oh no! Come on. Wait. Make it better. Move it this way. And now this glare.
See Benny?
Wait a minute. Where's Benny? No, because it's too blurry. I can't see. Which one is Benny? I can't even see. Oh, there on the side. What year is that?
1982.
Oh my God. I met him in 86. Oh, that's funny. Oh my God.
Those are my club days. Okay, Princess. I'll say hello to Benny for you. All right?
I will. I love you.
I'm going to email you my address.
Okay.